The crowd buzzed with electricity long before the first bell. Cameras flashed, voices roared, and the tension in the air was thick enough to cut. Somewhere backstage, Dakota Dicha stood calm and composed, her hands being wrapped with the same steady rhythm she carried into every arena. Across the hall, her opponent, Hannah Brady, bounced lightly on her toes, full of confidence, her expression sharp and unflinching. She had spoken boldly in interviews, telling the world she feared no one. "I'm not scared of anybody," Brady had said with a grin, her tone defiant. "I come to fight. I bring war every time." The cameras loved it. Fans loved it. But what she didn't know was that her words would soon echo back at her inside the ring, when confidence would turn into fear and boldness into survival. Because waiting for her under the lights was Dakota Dicha, a name that would soon become synonymous with precision, power, and quiet destruction. Born into a life of ordinary beginnings, Dakota's journey to greatness wasn't one of privilege or luck. It was built through pain, repetition, and relentless self-belief. As a young girl, she had struggled to find her place. School was difficult, not for lack of intelligence, but because of the cruelty that kids can carry. She was bullied, ridiculed, and left searching for something that would give her strength. It wasn't until she discovered Muay Thai that everything changed. The first time she stepped onto the mats, she found not just a sport but a sense of belonging. The rhythmic sound of pads being hit, the smell of sweat and leather, the discipline, the focus, it became her refuge. "Without Muay Thai," Dakota once said, "I wouldn't have had anything to focus on. I wasn't into dancing or gymnastics. But this gave me purpose." As she grew, so did her skill. What began as a shy girl learning how to throw a kick became a young woman mastering the art of controlled violence. Every jab, every knee, every hour spent training sharpened not just her body but also her mind. By the time she entered the professional circuit, Dakota Dicha had become something else entirely, a symbol of focus, resilience, and quiet fury. It was Saturday night in Bolton. The arena lights glared down on the ring, turning it into a glowing stage of confrontation. Thousands filled the seats, buzzing with anticipation. Cameras rolled. The announcer's voice echoed through the hall. In the red corner, Dakota Dicha. The cheers were immediate. She walked out with the poise of someone who had already lived this moment in her head 100 times. Calm eyes, steady breath, no wasted movement. Then came her opponent, Hannah Brady, bouncing with energy, her expression unshaken. She had promised to make this a war, and now she was stepping into the fire. When the bell rang, time slowed. Dakota stepped forward immediately, claiming the center of the ring with confidence. Her reach, her posture, and her rhythm, it all spoke of control. Brady tried to pressure early, but Dakota's jab landed first. Then came a body kick that echoed across the venue. The commentators could feel it. "She's tall, ranging. Look at that control." Brady's stiff. "She looks cold, a bit flat." Brady swung wide, hoping to close the distance, but Dakota slid back effortlessly, countering with a crisp right hand. The exchanges came fast, but one thing was clear: Dakota was dictating the pace. Every time Brady tried to force the clinch, Dakota met her with precision knees that thudded into the ribs. Each strike scored. Each movement built pressure. By the end of the round, Brady's face was red, her breathing heavier, while Dakota stood calm and unshaken. The first round was decisive. Dakota Dicha had announced her presence, and she wasn't going anywhere. Brady came out harder in the second round. Her corner had told her to make it messy, to brawl, to turn it into chaos. She threw looping punches and charged forward. But Dakota, composed as ever, stayed a step ahead. Her timing was immaculate, jabs snapping out like pistons, knees slicing through the clinch, and body kicks landing clean. "She's starting to pick her apart," one commentator noted. "Brady's tough, but she can't find her rhythm. She's getting beaten to every shot." The sound of each connection filled the air. Kick after kick. knee after knee. Dakota's combinations flowed effortlessly. While Brady fought with heart, Dakota fought with calculation. By the midway point of the round, the difference in conditioning was becoming clear. Dakota was light, mobile, and precise. Brady was beginning to slow, breathing heavier, her footwork stiff. When the bell rang again, the crowd could sense it. Dakota was taking control, round by round, inch by inch. The third round began, and this time Dakota unleashed the full breadth of her technique. Her footwork was smooth, her strikes clean and calculated. She used her front kick to control the distance, keeping Brady from getting close. When Brady did manage to enter, Dakota met her with devastating knees in the clinch. "She's technically brilliant," a voice said ringside. "Everything she throws has purpose." Brady showed tremendous heart, pushing forward no matter how many times she was hit. But every attempt to rally was met with another sharp counter. A left hook snapped her head back. A body kick folded her momentarily. Then came the elbows, short, quick, and merciless inside the clinch. One of them landed flush. Brady stumbled. The crowd gasped. Dakota didn't rush. She stepped back, eyes fixed, assessing. She knew she had hurt her opponent, but she was patient. The bell saved Brady from further damage, but the momentum was gone. When they returned to their corners, the difference between the two fighters was stark. Brady sat breathing heavily, her coach shouting instructions. Dakota stood silently, barely winded, her eyes locked ahead. She knew victory was within reach. As round 4 began, Brady made one last desperate push. She tried to trap Dakota against the ropes, throwing wide hooks and stepping into the pocket. But Dakota slipped and countered beautifully, landing a spinning kick that caught Brady off guard. The crowd erupted. Then came a flurry, sharp punches, clean body kicks, and punishing knees. Brady's chin held, but every strike took something from her. "The speed is with Dakota," the commentators said. "The persistence is with Brady." But this is turning into a clinic. Both fighters were exhausted now, drenched in sweat, their bodies marked by the war. But Dakota's composure never broke. Every time Brady attacked, Dakota answered with precision. Every time Brady tried to brawl, Dakota met her with technique. As the round drew to a close, the pace slowed. Both women exchanged knees in the clinch, neither willing to back down. Yet it was clear that Dakota was scoring, controlling, and dominating. By now, the crowd wasn't just watching a contest. They were witnessing a masterclass. The final round began with mutual respect. Brady, despite the punishment, refused to quit. She pressed forward, still looking for that one moment of redemption. But Dakota, cool and methodical, continued to control every exchange. Her jab found its mark again and again. Her defense was airtight. Every counter was precise. "She's not taking risks," a commentator noted. "She knows she's ahead. This is pure discipline." The two women locked in the clinch, trading knees, both digging deep into reserves of endurance. The sound of effort filled the ring, the breath, the strain, the impact of each strike. Dakota's composure was absolute. Her strikes remained clean, her footwork measured. Brady's spirit never faded, but the gap between them had grown insurmountable. As the seconds ticked away, Dakota let her hands go, a final series of sharp punches and kicks that sealed the performance. When the bell rang, the fighters embraced. They had gone to war, and they both knew it. The crowd rose to its feet in applause. Whatever rivalry existed before the fight dissolved in that moment of mutual respect. When the announcer returned to the ring, the tension was brief. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "after 5 rounds of Muay Thai action, we go to the judges' scorecards. All 3 judges score the contest in favor of your winner, by unanimous decision, Dakota Dicha." The crowd erupted. Dakota raised her gloves high, not in arrogance, but in quiet triumph. For her, it wasn't about showmanship or bravado. It was about discipline, hard work, and respect. Her opponent, battered but proud, nodded in acknowledgement. There were no excuses, no bitterness, only mutual recognition of the battle they had shared. That night, Dakota Dicha didn't just win a fight. She made a statement to the world, to her fans, and to herself. In the weeks that followed, clips of the match spread across the internet. The power, the composure, the skill, it all became the talk of the combat sports world. Fans in America were especially stunned. Many had never seen such control from such a young fighter. But for Dakota, it was never about fame. It was about the process, the training sessions that started before dawn, the sacrifices, the injuries, and the endless repetition. Every win, every loss, every round was a lesson. Her coaches often said she trained like she was still chasing something, like she hadn't arrived yet. And in her mind, she hadn't. She once said, "Every time I step into the ring, I'm not fighting my opponent. I'm fighting the part of myself that wants to stop." That philosophy carried her through the years that followed. She kept training, kept evolving, and kept pushing the boundaries of what was possible. Her name began to appear on posters, interviews, and headlines. Young fighters, especially young women, looked up to her as proof that strength can come from pain, that composure can rise from chaos. Dakota Dicha's journey wasn't just about winning matches. It was about transformation. What began as the story of a bullied girl seeking confidence had become the story of a woman who learned to master her fear, turning it into precision and grace. She carried herself with quiet power, never boasting, never seeking attention. Her performances spoke for her. Every time she stepped into the cage, fans knew they were about to witness something special, a display of discipline, courage, and unrelenting focus. Her influence went beyond the ring. She became a role model for young athletes, especially girls who saw in her the possibility of strength without arrogance and confidence without cruelty. From local gyms to international arenas, her name became a symbol of excellence. Not because she was perfect, but because she was relentless. Today, Dakota Dicha stands as more than an athlete. She is a reminder of what dedication looks like, the countless unseen hours that build champions, the resilience that keeps them standing when others would fall. Her career, still unfolding, is a testament to everything she has endured and overcome. From the young girl who found refuge in Muay Thai to the woman who commands global respect, Dakota's story continues to inspire. And it all traces back to that night in Bolton, March 10, 2018, when she stepped into the ring against Hannah Brady and showed the world what control, precision, and courage truly look like. That was the night Dakota Dicha's name became legend. That was the night the world took notice. That was the night confidence met consequence, and greatness was born.